everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So there are certain things in movies that you cannot do anymore. And I'm not talking about racially insensitive stuff or things that is out of fashion or anything like that. I'm talking about specific things in movies that you cannot do because somebody has done it in the past that is simply too good. As an example, a tough as nail drilling sergeant, you can't do that after R. Lee Ermey in Full Metal Jacket. And now we have come to the coming of age story. You cannot do a coming of age story after Boyhood because they spent 12 years with the same characters, the same actors, us slowly finding where we're going. And as a coming of age story, what is more ambitious than this? The answer is nothing. But the question is Boyhood a movie that you should see or not? That's what we're gonna find out today. This is Boyhood. The story of Boyhood is as follows. Mason, he lives in Texas, and we get to, follow his journey from when he's about 5 or 6 years old until he starts college. That's it. He hangs out with his dad, sometimes played by Ethan Hawke, but mostly with his mom, played by Patricia Arquette. And, we get to see him hang out with friends and, do things. Nothing spectacular, nothing life-changing or anything like that. It's just one kid growing up from a small boy to a slightly socially awkward nerd. That's it. So it isn't very interesting as a story, and it is completely devoid of conflicts. The most dramatic thing that happens in the entire movie is probably when, mom's new boyfriend turns out to be an alcoholic, raging lunatic, and that's about it. And that happens in like the first year or maybe the second year of our experiences of Mason's life, because otherwise it's just him doing stuff, going camping, hanging out with friends, being told by his sort of girlfriend that Pineapple Express, Tropic Thunder and The Dark Knight are bad movies, which makes her a bad girlfriend, stay away from her. And well, that's about it. I think a pretty funny thing that happened in this movie is when they visiting his grandparents, and he gets a present on his 12th or 13th birthday or whatever it was, and he gets the most Texan of all presents that have ever been given to anybody ever. He gets a Bible and a rifle. Can you find a birthday present that is more Texan than that? I don't think so. We do have these sort of pop cultural references to allowing us to understand where in time we are. They're campaigning for Obama, and they're buying Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and stuff like that. And you see how also society changes ever so slightly in his upbringing. That was kind of fascinating. In short, Boyhood is a movie that feels like you've invaded somebody's life or raided somebody's home videos, and you get to watch them for 12 years, and then they tell you to piss off, and you never get to find out what happened to Mason afterwards. Did he cure cancer? Did he become a president? Did he become a bully? Was he killed in a drive-by shooting by some thugs the week after he started college? We don't know. But it is undeniable how incredibly ambitious this movie is. But it is also a case of this is a gimmick movie. The gimmick is we shot this movie for 12 years and we see people gradually grow up without the use of makeup or, stuff like that. And that is very impressive, but the movie is also almost 3 hours long. And it was a chore to get through this one. This movie just went on and on and on, and absolutely nothing happened. It is one of these cases where I know that you technically cannot remove that much from the story, but on the other hand, there's just not a lot of stuff happening. So I wasn't very interested in where this was going, because I kind of knew where we were going with this one. And I didn't really care about Mason's journey or stuff like that, even though I was a little bit emotional, when he started college and we realizes that we are actually at the end of the story. We have watched this kid grow up and he has become somebody. We don't know who he is going to become, but can also say that Boyhood is an experience because there has never been a movie quite like it, at least to my knowledge. Boyhood is an experience to watch, and you could use the old cliche that it is not the destination, it is the journey. And while that is technically true, and my God, what an ambitious project Richard Linklater has taken on. But on the other hand, I didn't really care that much about it. Every actor does a pretty fine job in this movie, and everybody has great chemistry with each other, and you really believe these situations. They feel natural, but it is also almost a 3-hour-long movie with characters I do not find that interesting. But in the end, if you think you're gonna like Boyhood, you will like this movie. But if you think that almost 3 hours of, not a lot of stuff happening is going to be quite boring, and it's going to feel like a chore to get through, it probably will. But with that said, it is not a bad movie. I think my biggest problem with this movie was the fact that I could never quite get engaged in the story, and the characters were kind of boring. But it's not a bad movie, I just didn't care that much. Is it unfair to call this movie a gimmick movie? Maybe it is. It is so ambitious, and it is so amazing to see it happens. But once you've gotten past that stage, there isn't too much left to see in this movie. I give Boyhood 41 points. The movie is very impressive, the actors are very talented, but the story is kind of lackluster. So we'll see you next time for So and So reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.